of the same is also Donald Trump. And just look at what he's done recently. After we got through Iowa, we came to New Hampshire. He said we'd lose by 35 points. We got 43 points. And he was so unhinged that I got 43 points that he threw a temper tantrum on stage. Literally. All he did was talk about revenge. And my dress. Then the next day he says anybody that supports her is barred permanently from MAGA. We had a little fun with that. We sold t-shirts that said barred permanently. We sold 25,000 t-shirts when he said that. But think about what he said in that moment. When you're running as president of the United States, your job is to bring people into the fold, not push them out of your club. And then he went a step further the next day and tried to push the RNC to name him the presumptive nominee. We don't anoint kings in America. We have elections. We give people choices. And then he lost a couple of court cases and had some judgments against him. And then he went on a rant about being a victim. Now, what you need to know is, this is not personal for me with Donald Trump. I voted for Donald Trump twice. I was proud to serve America in his administration. But the truth of the matter is, chaos follows him. Everywhere he goes, chaos follows him. And we can't be a country in disarray and a world on fire and go through 4 more years of chaos. We wouldn't survive it. But when you look at whether it was how he acted in New Hampshire, or whether how he acted after the court cases, what bothers me the most is at no point did he ever talk about the American people. At no point did he talk about the $34 trillion in debt. At no point did he talk about the fact that only 31% of 8th graders in our country are proficient in reading. At no point did he talk about the lawlessness on the border and how he tried to stop Congress from doing that. At no point did he talk about the lawlessness in our cities. And at no point did he talk about the wars around the world. All he did was talk about himself. And that's the problem. This isn't about him. It's about the American people. And if states like Colorado and Michigan and Minnesota want to start winning again, you have to have somebody on the ticket that can win a general election. And look at all the polls. First of all, let's look at all the early states. In every one of the early states, yes, did Donald Trump win? I give him that. But he lost 40% of the vote. You can't win a general election if you can't get 40% of Republican primary voters. You just can't. But more than that, look at the polls. Don't listen to me. Look at the polls. Marquette poll came out last week. In most of the polls, he's down by 5. He's down by 7. Marquette poll, he was margin of error. It'll be a nail biter. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm in that same poll, and I defeat Joe Biden by 18 points. That means that's bigger than the presidency. That's House, that's Senate, that's governorships, that's school boards. That's a complete change for our country. But more than that, you win by double digits, then that's going into D.C. with a mandate to stop the wasteful spending and get our economy back on track. A mandate to get our kids reading again and go back to the basics in education. A mandate to secure our borders with no more excuses. A mandate to bring law and order back to our cities, and a mandate for a strong America that prevents wars that we can all be proud of. Don't you want that?